Okay, so I'm going to show, hi, I'm going to show you what I do so you understand what takes me so long and why. And if you know a better way to do it, or if the other person knew a better way, I would love to learn how they did it, and maybe they'll teach me. Okay, but for now, this is how I'm doing it. Editing. So I'm going to minimize this real quick, and then I would go to here and pick up Photoshop. And my computer seems to take a little while to open anything or do anything, and maybe I'll get a tech to look at, maybe the storage or why it's like that, but it's how it is. And this is, again, a really large program, so maybe that's possibly why. And I'll make this video as short as possible because I know you don't have time to watch a lot of things that I send or do. Okay, so from here, File, come on, Open, and I would pick up, we can pick up from here, that's not a problem. So I'll just find one that can be difficult, like this one. And it's RAW that I shoot from camera, so I have to go through Canon's RAW imaging first. Turn it, so because you wanted the orientation to be portrait, and then I crop it to 9:16. We wanted all of them to be consistent, so that's why I do this in my workflow. Okay, that looks good. Now you can see it, and it looks a little blown out right here and sort of through here, so I'm going to drop the exposure a tiny bit, just enough to see that a little better. I always add a little bit of clarity and a little bit of vibrance, and we're pretty much done. I like the color, everything always looks good from here. This is not a long time. So then we're going to open image. It takes a minute to convert it into a JPEG because you would not be able to open Camera Raw. I don't think you would anyway. CR2 format is, generally speaking, people can't open it unless they're a photographer. Okay, so there's a lot of things going on here I can see. I've got the plexiglass backgrounds right here, but I don't bother cutting those out because I'm literally going to be taking this and dropping it onto a white background. So the first thing I do is get into it a little bit, and then I'm just going to use shortcut keys. Go to Select Tool, Quick Selection, and start selecting it. And oftentimes this program does pretty good, but then when you get to this white reflective jewelry, the silver stuff, the selection tool gets lost. And see how it did not select that? It knows these deep grays and it is putting that into memory, but has a hard time with getting these whites. So this process can take quite a long time if it suddenly identifies something else, which it will happen pretty soon here. Something that I don't want it to identify. And like I said, again, it doesn't get those edges. There we go. For example, we don't want the inside here, so we're going to deselect that, and see it grabbed this side here. I don't want that to be missed, so we need to make sure that gets in. Anyway, and we'll just continue going along here, and basically it tries its best to grab what it thinks you want, but nowhere near 100% accurate. But this is the best way I know. Oops, see, and it took the whole edge. What that means is this center is selected, and we don't want that because we want it to be a perfect background of white. Okay, so I'm just going to take this as an example. I can't do the whole piece for you right now because well, the video only allows 10 minutes, so that's how it goes. So from here, I would hit refine edge, and that gives me a different view. Come on, computer. Here it comes. And what it tells me is what is selected is what I can see. What isn't selected is in white. So I'm going to work on getting in here a little bit. There we go. And I'll show you what I mean by that. So this white area is not selected. This right here should be selected. These little fine points, they're highlights on the jewelry, should be selected, but they aren't. So what we're going to do is make this into a layer mask. That refines it. I can show you, actually let's show you also on black and white. That's even easier to see. Okay, so these little areas, these are gray areas, those aren't selected. And that's really bad for you because when clients or customers zoom in, they're going to think that there's pieces of that jewelry missing. And you don't want pieces of your jewelry missing when you're trying to sell them. So we're going to say yes. Go ahead and make that, see right here, take that and make it obvious to us so we can see. It's a checking situation, the foolproof way to do it. So I'm going to go on here, and with my paintbrush, I'm going to poke through, zoom in, and I'm going to poke through here so that it is not part of the final image. Right here, and go slow, get the brush small so it gets into every one of those nooks and crannies. Okay, that looks pretty good to me. And then you'll notice that some of the areas are a bit transparent, and you can't have that. You don't want your jewelry looking see-through. It has to be selected. So we'll change our foreground to white and paint it back in. You definitely need those pieces of your jewelry. All right. And it looks like we got most of that. Right here it didn't even select it at all, so that needs to be painted in because that is a part of the jewelry. Right here is a see-through part, so switch our foreground to black. Get the brush smaller. So as you can imagine, this whole piece of jewelry is going to look like this because it's that soft white. Here's another one that's got to be cleaned up. Here's an area it didn't even bother to select, so we'll do that. So I go through this whole process, and yes, it takes a long time. Oops, not white. It takes a really long time, and I go through every single little piece this way, and every chain hole has to get painted back in. So for time's sake, I'm just going to show you what it ends up with. I would take care of the mask, put that away for now, apply it to the layer, and then I would open a new piece of paper that's white, a file, and it's sized already by 9 by 16, but I do resize it up to 12% because that's what that photo was. Okay, now we use window, arrange to vertical, and I'm going to get this one to where we can see it again. Control 0 does that for me. And here's the piece that we've selected, but we have not cleaned it up half as well as it should be. This would not be acceptable for you. So I would take at least 30 minutes to clean up, to recover the rest of it correctly. And after doing that, I would check it against the black, and I'd also check it against the red so I didn't miss any highlights on anything. Or, for example, the pearls, they bleed in on the outsides. They tend to disappear. Same thing with the crystals. The light goes right through the crystals, and you have to bring back those facets on the crystals, the diamond cuts. So that's all part of this. And then once I'm done here, I basically go to window, arrange. Oh, sorry, I'm on here. I hit the move tool, and I take it and I drop it onto the clean white background, and then sort of just arrange it however I think you would want to see it. No, I don't want to save any of that. And then I get on another tool to move that